Hello, hello, hello. Hey, 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 hey. What's happening out there, folks? Peace in, peace in. Peace and blessing, that is. All right. Welcome to another episode of On the Cutting Room Floor. You know who I am, Tony Ray Harvey, podcast and broadcast for the southwest part of Sacramento, the Greenhaven Pocket area. Let's get right down into it. Sacramento Kings, they win tonight. They stopped the streak. They stopped the 16-game losing streak by beating the Memphis Grizzlies 124-113 in the Mid-South. FedEx Arena in Memphis, Tennessee. Thanks to the powerful start of the game by Precious Achiuwa. As we go along and recap this game, that's definitely one person that they do need to keep. I know he can probably write his own ticket after this season, but I would really love to see them try to keep him because despite this losing that's been happening this season, and I know it's been tough on him as well, he's in that veteran range that he can provide a lot of energy in multiple ways. He can start and have no problem. He can come off the bench and have no problem. Okay, sometimes starters are just starters, and sometimes reserves are just reserves. He works well in both of those areas. I know Scott Perry is, looking forward to give DeAndre Hunter a look. We won't get a chance to see him until next season anyway. He's out with that eye injury. But Pressure, who signed with the team, 3 games into the season, has been a big contributor for Sacramento Kings, and we do hope that continues after this season. Now, yes, he did play at the University of Memphis when he was drafted. Before he was drafted in the first round a few years ago, so he's familiar with that area. And I know he wanted to go back and play well. It looked like it was a near empty arena in FedEx tonight, though. But that first half, he really showed a lot of power that the Kings needed. Now, I know Memphis is depleted. I understand that. But Precious understood that he wanted to stop that streak, and he wanted to stop it in Memphis. And they did. Yeah, so matter of fact, Russell Westbrook, he led the team with 25.7 assists, 2 rebounds. But it was Achiuwa's 22 points, 12 rebounds, 1 steal, and 1 block in 33 minutes that made a difference. So the Kings, they are now 13-46 on the season. They win their first road game since December 6th after beating Miami. They win their first road game of the year. All right? Of the year, 2026 year. So it took a long time to get to that point. And like I said, they ended that 16-game losing streak, which took about 37 days to do. Their last victory was January 16th. And that was against the Washington Wizards at Golden One Center. So it's over, folks. It's over, folks. I was listening to, I think it was Kevin Gleason and Alan Stiles were talking about today that the longest losing streak is in the NBA is 28. So Kings were 12 years off that mark, but still, it is still a record for the Sacramento Kings franchise, those 16 losses, since they've been in the association since 1948. So just want to recap that part out too. It's over. I don't care how it was done. It was over. They really need to end that streak. Now, I've said it on multiple occasions that if you win, you win. If you lose, you win. And I'm talking about the NBA lottery, draft lottery. Yes. But that don't need to, no. Stop that. Now you got 23 games left in the season. They played this 3rd game already. Yeah, so you have 23 more games left in the season. They're almost close to tying the record, at least getting equal to wins that they had in 2009, which was 2008-2009, which was 17 wins. 17 wins. And Tyreek Evans was on that team. He earned Rookie of the Year that year. 20 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists for the whole game. But that team was trash. That team was trash. As a matter of fact, while I'm talking about it too, when as Tyreek was playing that game, I think that wasn't that game. But when they came back from 30 points down to beat Chicago, I think that was his second season. But during that season, at one point, remember they only won 17 games that year. At one point, one stretch, Tyreek Evans, who was drafted out of Memphis to be, he was the 5th pick for the Kings. He was like, forget it, I'm not giving up the ball. I'm taking a shot you put that ball in my hand, and he was the point guard. He was playing point guard. He wasn't really, he was not able to, adjust or transition to be a point guard. He's a shooting guard. But he was like, forget it. I'm going to put this ball up every chance that I get, and he did. I mean, there was many times when Tyreek Evans on that losing squad, I'm talking about 2008, 2009, where it get to the fourth quarter, Tyreek had 17 points. Tyreek had 14 points. He had 16 points. He had 17 points. He had 15 points. He had 13. He was just, when it came to the fourth quarter, forget it. Forget it. As soon as that ball got in Tyreek's hand, he was putting it up. Do want to bring that up. But, so the Kings have 13 wins on the season thus far. They got 23 games to get 4 more victories. Let's see what happens. I don't think there's going to be a problem with them as far as, getting a shot at that number 1 pick in the draft. Because the way I see it, you're going to get 1, 2, or 3. Or 4 or 5, but 1, 2, or 3. All right? So you could be right there in the thick of things when that is announced. What order it will be. But first, we have to finish out the season to see, but they still the worst team in the association. No doubt about that, with this record and stuff. But, and Kevin Gleason, as he always, reaffirmed that you only have an 86, you have a 86% chance of not getting the top pick. So you only have a 14.5% chance to get that top pick. But I think, the odds, are even greater after the first pick. But you have a higher chance of getting the second or the third. So the Kings going to get something out this draft. Somebody just scored 49 points, another freshman. This got to be one of the deepest freshmen's class I have ever seen. I'm not talking about the deepest draft. I'm talking about freshman class. This collegiate class of freshmen is off the chart. Somebody else just scored 49 points. Excuse me, I should have had that information right in front of me before that. Hopefully, before I sign off, I'll get that straightened out. But the Kings gonna get something out this draft, no doubt about it. They sure of that. We're sure of that. The only thing it is, I'm not gonna sidestep, shortstop anywhere. This is basketball hell. So hopefully somebody can come in here and change this culture of losing. Somebody. And I think of AJ DeBonsa, Darren Peterson, if he's on the board, or Cam Boozer, or he had a great game this weekend. I had to go back and look at it again and stuff like that. Matter of fact, he made some key baskets against Michigan in that game. This is just on down the line. Some people may have to step up. I'm not even worried about it. I mean, they are freshmen. Now, there's been a couple freshmen, that, I would say ran into a wall, but they're still going to be really great NBA players. In my opinion. They're going to get something. You're going to get something, Sacramento Kings. You're going to get something. You are going to get something. I'm talking about Sacramento Kings fan. All right? But must be understood. This is basketball hell. This is a culture of losing, and I'm not going to stop on that part because this is something that I dug up today as well. It's probably already been talked about. I don't care. At the conclusion of this game, the Kings franchise has an all-time record of 2,812 wins against 3,300 and 388 losses. So they done won 2,800 games plus 12. And they have lost 3,300 games plus 88. Plus 88. Okay? And that's over a 78-year span. They've been in the league ever since 1948. Now, this includes all the stops they done been to. You know, they were the Rochester Royals, then they were the Cincinnati Royals, then they were the Kansas City Kings. At one point, they were the Kansas City Kings, Omaha Kings. And then they finally moved to Sacramento, where they have been 41 years. They've been losing here, too. Losing here, too. I take no pride in, or pleasure in talking about, just culture of losing. I'm just putting it out there, all right, until things changes, because it's bad. It's really, really bad. It's really, really bad. As far as recapping, just going back to the game, just, that first half was crazy. It was a lot of high scoring, of course. It was. And matter of fact, Precious, he was just off the chart. I mean, he really got things going for this team. What did he do? He did something in the first. I think he was like 7 or 9 or something like that in the first half. And he was just powering through, just cycling through these guys. Move out the way, getting baskets and things like that. And that was really a good point. But, Nique Clifford. Nique Clifford, 12 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, I believe, or maybe 6 rebounds and 5 assists. He had 12 points, 6 rebounds and 5 assists, 6 steals. 6 steals in 28 minutes off the bench. It's never going to look pretty with him this season. I understand that. And I hope they keep him in that 28-minute, 25, 26, 28-minute range of, him giving floor time, whether he's starting or coming off the bench. And most likely it looks like he's going to be starting because, DeMar and Russell Westbrook is definitely, going to be in the mix as far as, the starting 5. But this young man, he's going to be okay. Nique Clifford is going to be okay. All right. We know he had a 30-point effort, a few games ago. I see more of those coming. All right. And it's coming. The thing about Nique is, and I keep saying it, and I say it over and over and over, he got to knock down those threes because that's going to open up his game. And I don't care what anybody said. That will open up his game. And I think everybody pretty much know that, That will open up his game. Then you can do what you want, get to the rack, okay, shoot those triples. All right, get in that little mid-range too. You learn from the best. In DeMar DeRozan, your game is going to be tight. On the defensive end, I'm seeing it, okay? He can get deflections. As you see tonight, he had 6 steals, all right? He defends really, really well. He try to keep his man in front of him. I haven't seen him go under the screen in many moons and stuff like that. So he's learning in that area. He's going to be okay. And Maxime Renault, I think tonight they said, he's leading the rookies this season in double-doubles. I think he had his 11th or 12th tonight. He had 10 points and 13 rebounds tonight. Okay? He got off to a great start, too. These cats, wherever they play, rotational or starters, I think they really can be some serviceable pieces for the Kings moving forward. Yeah. Yes. Got a lot of work to do. And I really didn't mind that the veterans were left out on the floor to win that game. All right. They got to win a game. Okay. And if it has to be behind them veterans, DeMar did have 19 points tonight. Daequon Plowden had 19 points coming off the bench, too. Knocked down a couple big baskets that they needed. But you needed those veterans I'm talking about, to pull this thing out in that streak. That's not one of those games where you come up to it and you just let, the younger players try to figure it out, because Memphis, of course, were depleted, and Gigi Johnson was their tallest player on the floor. I know they got Olivier Maxine's Prosper. I don't know why the Kings ain't really tried to go after him or Gigi Jackson, but that's just my thought. I don't really like to get all into that, but I just like those two players, especially Gigi Jackson. Man, 6'9". I think Olivier Maxime Prosper, I think he's about 6'8", 6'9" as well. Who brought that up? Oh, Alan Styles was bringing that up about him. That's somebody that the Kings should have probably went out. But I don't really like to, go off into those directions, because a lot of that stuff never happens anyway. But it's okay to bring it up. But I remember Alan Styles bringing that. And Alan Styles, for KHTK 1140, along with the Drive guys, Kevin Gleason, he did bring that up a few times too. That's where I got that from. But it does make a lot of sense. A lot of sense. So anyway, folks, I'm not going to go into this. I think I recapped the game as much as I can and offer whatever commentary that I got. The Kings like to beam for the 13th time in 57, 58 games. Cool. You got it done. Of course, I'm not driving down there to see if the beam is lit. Of course, I would love to see it. I like that purple laser piercing through the sky, making everybody's night great, and hopefully it is great, tonight for everyone too. This has just been one rough season, on and on and on. But once again, I will say, I'm glad Doug knew we got to get a win. If we're going to do it, we're going to get behind these veterans, to do it. And he did exactly like that. Cool. So the Kings will play the Houston Rockets on February 25th, Wednesday. That'll be a back-to-back because they have to go play Dallas. Cool thing about it, they will be in Texas for both of those games. Usually it's like that triangle that they be running, but this time, they played San Antonio. Then they shot up to the Mid-South to play Memphis. Now they're going to come back and play Houston and then Dallas. So either way it goes, that's how it's going to be done. We'll see that. I think, yeah, right. So they'll be playing the 25th and the 26th in a back-to-back Wednesday and Thursday against the Houston Rockets, Dallas Mavericks. I may not do a recap of that game on Wednesday, but I certainly will be back Thursday night to speak with you again. Once again, thanks for stopping in for another episode of Undercutting Room Floor. I'm your host, Tony Ray Harvey. Thank you, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 viewers out there who don't mind coming in, and hear my little chatter. I look at it as a blessing. Because I'm not going to stop this as well. But hey, until we meet again, peace out.